from epic new heights. Come petrifying new lows.
We're back at Thorpe Park for Fright Nights and also the Attraction Source Scaremazing event. We're going to try out all the mazes. We're going to do behind the scenes tour of Deadbeat, the brand new maze for 2024, and hopefully maybe get some night rides. So we're going to go check out mazes first. Let's see what this year's offerings are all about and whether they're any good. So we're currently queuing for our behind the scenes tour of Deadbeat, which is the new maze for 2024. Really excited about this, haven't actually done the maze yet, but we're going to do behind the scenes first. First maze of the day is Trailers. It's well documented, not my favourite maze. I've questioned whether it makes any sense. I've struggled to see the full picture, but I've heard some encouraging things this year and I'm always willing to give things another go. So let's go and see what Trailers has to offer this year. Well, I'm sad to report that Trailers was as poor as ever. There was a nice nod to the buckwheats in there, although it was quite random, didn't really add to the maze. A big sign for platform 15, which led to somebody's bedroom, which I didn't quite understand, and I'm still left thinking that Trailers as a maze just doesn't work, and it's done, its time is up, and it just needs to go. Next up we have got Deadbeat, the brand new maze for 2024, and this is the one that I'm really excited about. We've done a behind the scenes tour, so we do know what's inside, but I don't think that's going to ruin the scares or potential scares that there are in this maze. So let's go check out Deadbeat. So very loosely, the theme of this maze is a nightclub where the revellers are having their souls sucked out. It sounds like every student night out in a nightclub I ever did. Well, that was Deadbeat, and I have to say, it's one of the best mazes I think I've ever experienced at Thorpe Park. The set is very well thought out, really well themed. The scares were really good. I'm a little bit less jump scary than I used to be, but there were some really good jump scares in there, and even I jumped a couple of times, so that was great. And as I say, the theming was absolutely spot on. Really enjoyed it, and the music just made it 10 times more enjoyable. Raving all the way through.
Are you in the queue?
Next up we are going for Stitches, which was... I'm going to change, get out of that sunlight. Next up we've got Stitches, which was my favourite maze of 2023 and 2023's new maze. I'm interested to see whether Deadbeat is going to prove to be the better maze. They're very different mazes. Deadbeat is more about jumps and Stitches is more about creepy, but we'll see. Let's go check out Stitches. Well, Stitches was certainly as good as I remember. There's been a couple of little changes. I'm not going to give too much away. But it was really good again, really enjoyable. It doesn't need too many jump scares because it's creepy, so it doesn't rely on jump scares. It just creates an overall fear, and it does it very well. And it's definitely going to be up there with my favourites for the year again. So it's time to go and check out one of the other mazes that I've never been a massive fan of. It's very dependent on the kind of runs that you get. Oh dear, maybe I shouldn't have said that in front of the acting staff. But yeah, and yeah, so it's time to go and check out survival games. I'd say not one of my favourites. It's down there with Trailers for me, but it's probably because I've had not great run-throughs, apart from when I attended the SLK STN Unlocked event last year when it was packed with actors, and we were dragged and we were licked and shoes were taken and all sorts. But it just seems that that's not the experience I get when I come as a member of the public. So we've had our first run through on survival games, and there was a member of the customer service team, guest services team, asking for our feedback, and I had to be honest and say it was probably one of the dullest run-throughs I've had of survival games, with almost no interaction. So they've kindly invited us to come back through the maze again in hope to provide a better experience, which I think is really, really kind of them, and you know, I think that's a really nice gesture. So I'm hoping for a better run this time and a bit more interaction. It was probably one of the dullest run-throughs I've had of survival games, with almost no interaction. One of the advantages of getting rid of the Angry Birds 4D cinema showing, of course, was that it freed up the cinema here at Sunset Boulevard to be able to show a horror offering during Fright Nights. This year we've got the It 4D experience. I've never actually watched the It movies, always found them a little bit too disturbing for me, but I'm going to go in and give this a whirl and we'll see what it's like. Well, It 4D actually was surprisingly really good. We all enjoyed that. I've never seen the film before. It was quite a spectacular. Yeah, it was. That was really good actually. Glad we decided to go and have a look at that, and we're going to go and hopefully get some night rides now. Maybe check out the shows. But as you can see, my camera's already struggling with the dark, so probably won't be vlogging for that much longer. We've opted to use our fast track to come and do a night ride on Colossus. It's probably going to be the only night ride we do because literally the queue times have got absolutely ridiculously out of control, and if I had to criticise Fright Nights, that would be my criticism more than anything, is that the ride queue times just get ridiculously out of control. I have been informed it is the busiest night of Fright Nights so far this year, so I always seem to end up here on the busiest night of Fright Nights of the year. We're going to go and do the Crows. We probably won't get time to do the shows. I'm starting to tire. It's been a long day. Probably going to leave park early. So a night ride on Colossus, and actually it was quite enjoyable. I can't believe I'm actually admitting this, but actually it was enjoyable. And as we came round past the Crows, the smell pods from the Crows just added to the atmosphere of the ride, and just made it even more enjoyable. So yeah, that's going to be our only night ride. We're going to go and do the Crows now. So a bit of a change of plans. The queue for the Crows is out the gate and down virtually to Hyperia's Plaza and beyond, and none of us quite fancy queuing that long for it, so we're going to have to go without doing the Crows as well this year. It's almost a carbon copy of Fright Nights last year for me. Didn't get to do the Crows, didn't get to see the shows, and night rides were really difficult to come by. Well, that's it. That's the end of our day here at Thorpe Park, and what I'm taking away from today, from my experience for the last 2 years, is I'm probably not going to bother coming back to Fright Nights, and it's really sad that I feel that way, but I've done better scare mazes at other places that didn't have the stress of trying to get on rides, and queue times for rides tonight were just ridiculous, and they've been ridiculous all day. There's not been a time where it's eased up. We've managed to go on one roller coaster and a handful of flat rides, and for me, you know, if I paid good money to come to Fright Nights, I would be expecting a lot more than that. So next year I think I'm just going to avoid it. I can go and do scare mazes at Tully's, I can do scare mazes at the Howl, and I can come here any time of the year to do roller coasters, and I think that is going to be the way it is from now on. So that's it from me here at the Attraction Source Scaremazing event and Thorpe Park Fright Nights for this year. I will see you in another video soon. We've got one more scare attraction to go, which is Fear Avon Valley down in Bristol, and that will be coming soon. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in a video soon. Bye for now.